What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. Vince Staples is back with his first project since summertime '06. It's titled Prima Donna EP. It's short, to the point, and just a beautiful body of work. I love the concept, which was revealed in his Fader magazine cover, is basically going from very depressed to back to normal. And that's like the ordering of the track list. And if you listen to it in reverse, starting with Big Time and going to Let It Shine, you can see the idea of Vince and his his depression getting worse, to the point that there's suicide at the end. That's what Let It Shine starts off as. He's singing this song, the Let It Shine record, of course, and then it ends with a quick gunshot. And I think if anybody listens to it and they don't jump at that, because it's so unexpected, you're not expecting to hear a gunshot in the middle of this intro. So it's it's loud. It's a loud gunshot. So you have that as the intro. My original thought was, this is Vince trying to convince himself that there's a bright side. But the gunshot that ends the intro is a reminder of the harsh environment that he's living in. And I thought it was a cool concept until I discovered what it actually is. And now it just doesn't feel like it fits as much. But that was my original idea when I was trying to understand this EP. And all the tape portions of the EP are very up and down. At the end of Smile, you have him basically doing the opposite of the record. He talks about how he wants to die, how he's very depressed. And it's like a classic case of perception versus reality. The public, they perceive Vince as the person on Smile, but the reality is he's depressed, he's suffering, and you don't see that a lot. But I like the contrast between the two parts of the song. And then he's kind of holding on to hope at the end of the title track, where he sings about being fed up with the violence and how he wants to live forever. And this is, going back from depressed slowly to normal. So you have like that idea that he wants to live forever, and it's really chilling when he says that after you understand the concept a little bit more, because you're like, damn, he says he wants to live forever, but then we see him get worse and worse, and then it's over. Boom. My favorite song on the album is War Ready, and I love the flip of Andre 3000's ATLiens verse, just a little passage of it. He says, "Put my Glock away, I got a stronger weapon that never runs out of ammunition, so I'm ready for war." The stronger weapon being his words, his mind. And whoever told Vince and James Blake to sample that, I think James probably would have been the one to bring it up since he produced the song, but whoever was involved in choosing that passage is genius, because that pretty much sums up Vince in a nutshell. He is the person that has never glorified where he came from. He's never glorified gang violence at all. And he uses his words to kind of project his environment and what he grew up around. He doesn't glorify it though. He just tells you this is what was happening, and I think it's just a great idea to do. Vince says on the song, he says, "My bitch bad like Mona Lisa, hammers busting like sodas in the freezer." His metaphors are great, and as someone who's a recovering soda addict, I used to put my Mountain Dews in the freezer, so I can definitely understand that metaphor. I would leave a soda in there for 5-6 hours, and then I'd come back, it's all expanded. I don't ever think one ever really busted per se, but I can understand if I left it in there longer, it would have just boom, you would have heard a loud pop, and it would have been just like a gunshot. The last song on the EP is Big Time, and I think it's the closest to Vince Staples' current personality. We see him doing interviews and reviewing like everything from emojis to the Olympics. I think this record is closest to his current personality because it's not him being depressed. At the end of this EP, you have a little section where there's the violent storm. It's rainy, it's thundery, and then you have a voice that says, "Is anybody there?" And that's pretty much like the start of depression. He says, "The radio never gonna play me. I'll quit if my label don't pay me. I'll run up in there with my gun in the air screaming, 'Give me the shit you wrote for Jay-Z.'" That is Vince Staples, pretty much. I think that's how he views the label, like, pay him and then we're good, all that type of stuff. Prima Donna is like watching your favorite TV show. You don't want it to end. 22 minutes is not enough for this EP, but then again, it packs so much depth and dimension to it. There's a lot to unpack, and you can listen to it over and over again and really just enjoy it. I think Vince is a true artist, and he understands what he needs to do in order to continue to elevate himself as an MC. He's creating these concepts, some of which are personal and others are fantasy, and he combines them together to where you're like, I don't, your mind gets blown. And I love how he's able to just portray all these things in a creative light. So the Prima Donna EP is definitely worth your time. If you listen to it, let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. And then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video. Follow me on Twitter @SermonsDomain. And as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching. And until next time, peace.